Woohoo.
Got it.
So you didn't quite manage to finish it?
Mm-mm. I was close. So I was really close. Then I just kind of like,
Yeah, so at the start of the day, on like on your Kindle it tells you like the progress. At the start of the day, I was 25% of the way through the book. I thought I was a lot further, and I
oh
wasn't.
no,
So
I
I spent.
know it feels long. It's so
It felt
long.
long. I actually don't know how long it is. How many pages is it?
I think it was like 400 pages.
Okay. So yeah, because it did feel like I felt like I'd read like a decent chunk, and I was like, oh, it's fine. Like I'll be able to finish the rest on the day, which is what I usually do.
Right.
And then I got to my Kindle, and I was like, oh dear, it's gonna be an intense
I know.
day.
Yeah, I was listening to it on like 2 times speed last night,
Yeah,
trying to get
same.
through it. And yeah. Guys, as you start coming in, let us know if our volumes are pretty even. It's not like it's not ASMR style or anything, but I don't want to be way louder or anything.
Yeah, I don't have a proper mic with me today, so I might be a bit quiet. But I think Veda can make herself
I can
quieter.
fix my gain, so at least we're
Yeah.
equal. Your lipstick is so pretty. What color is it?
Thank you. It's like a burgundy. It's like a lipstick and a lip gloss. It's a little mixture.
I like
It's
it. It's
it
really pretty.
the lip gloss is actually from Claire's, so that's
Really?
how long I've had it. It's probably definitely not good to use anymore.
That's
But
so funny. I'm gonna send you like a care package of makeup. I have your address, so I'm gonna like make you a little package.
I love that. So I finished today. I finished like the last thing from your care package. The
Oh,
the jelly beans were my favorite. They're so good.
I've
They were
never
like
had them.
they were really sour. Like,
Oh my
well,
God,
like
I'm
not
excited.
really, really sour, but like
But
they were a
like
lot more
good, like,
sour. Yeah, yeah, like really good and like
oh my God,
very
I want.
tasty, but like more sour than I was expecting. And I like been savoring them, and I've had my last jelly bean today. For those of you who don't know, because you wouldn't know, because only me and Veda know this. Me and Veda gave each other. We sent each other like care packages from the UK and the US, like some
Snacks. And
snack swaps. And yeah, Veda gave me lots of really good treats
oh
from
my God,
Trader
I love this
Joe's.
stuff. I know I got all yours from Trader Joe's. I'm actually going there this weekend, so I'm getting the jelly beans.
Yeah, yeah, get some jelly beans. They were really good.
I definitely will. Okay. So today we are talking about Emma by Jane Austen. What happened was we missed a bunch of months for the book club challenge and we fell behind. So we had to hit 3 categories, and it was a
Yeah,
romance, a classic, and a female author. So that's
and
why
we
we
did
chose
it.
Emma.
So we're back on track.
And we're back on track, and the next book will be a fantasy. So we'll talk about that. But
Oh, okay.
um, we were saying before we actually went live that Eliza finished the book like 10 minutes ago.
Yeah.
And I technically didn't finish the book. I got probably about 70%, and then I watched the movie because I
Yeah.
like just didn't feel like reading last night, but I will
Yeah.
finish it.
How was the
Um,
movie?
I actually liked the movie. I thought it was really cute.
I've heard
I
good
watched the
things.
new one.
Yeah. I've heard good things about the new one. I'm looking forward to watching it.
I think you'll really like it. The casting was so good. Like everybody was cast so well, and it's really funny. Like it's really cute and funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked the movie. But
Yeah. I did have a
what
look at the
what did we
cast.
think about the book? Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Just that I was like, I need to be able to picture people. So I like looked at the cast so that I could like imagine who was who. And yeah, that was enjoyable.
I did the same thing because I was having a really hard time with the ages. Like because I was listening to the audiobook also at such a high speed, I kept missing details. So I had no idea how old anybody was, and I couldn't
Yeah.
figure out how the heck any of these people were related to each other. So I did look at like a family tree eventually, and
Yeah.
but
I read some of it and then I listened to some of it. I just listened to like one of the audiobooks on YouTube because there's quite a few because
mm,
it's a classic.
yeah.
and I enjoyed the audiobook a lot more. Like I got the humor more when it was an audiobook,
Yeah,
and it
I
was
feel the
easier to
same.
follow. Yeah.
So it was funny because I didn't really expect it to be like humorous going in. Like I didn't really know anything about it. And I think it is like a romantic comedy, but I didn't expect it to be funny. So I was just
Yeah.
like, what? Everybody's so weird. Like her father just complains constantly. And then
Yeah.
one of gosh, which character
Mr.
was it that
Bade.
just taught? You knew. And
I
just
know.
monologue
Yeah,
forever.
exactly. So when I
And
was
I
reading it, that was so annoying because I was like, oh my God, like this
mhm.
whole book is so like long and pointless because none of this is useful for the plot. And then
Yeah.
when I listened to the audiobook, and I was like, oh, I get it. It's funny.
Yeah, that's how I felt. Like, because I didn't read it physically, but I think if I had, I would have been like,
Yeah,
what? How much
yeah,
of this do we? Jane Austen's
literally.
terrible.
I was like,
But
Jane Austen, be more concise, please.
that's the point though. And you
Yeah,
get that now. But at first I was the same. I was like, oh my gosh. But no, she had a fun time writing this book, I think. She played
yeah,
around a little bit.
definitely. Yeah. Once I realized that it was funny, then I enjoyed it more because I also like was taking it seriously when I first started reading it, and I was like, all of these characters are so like horrible and like but then once I, you know, realized that you're meant to poke fun at the characters,
Yeah. Like
I
every
kind of
single character, everyone,
yeah.
and the
Oh
kind of
yeah.
the movie showed me that like every single character is being made
Yeah.
fun of throughout the whole
Yeah.
book. One of my favorite things was how 90% of everyone's like fears was just getting sick or a draft. There's
The cold.
a
Like
draft in the hallways.
having a window open,
Yeah,
like oh, going outside when it might be snowing. There's like half an inch outside.
I know. Oh my
Barely.
God. When you watch the movie, that's a really funny scene with the snow. It
Yeah.
You'll like that one. It's cute.
Yeah, okay.
Let me take a look at the chat.
Yes.
Okay, volume is
I'll have a
good. Ooh, we're talking about Easter candy. That sounds
look.
delicious. Thank you, Kent. Keep the room clean. Um, so like I said, I was kind of surprised by the humor of it because I didn't really look anything up beforehand, you know, and I feel like I should know
Yeah.
what it's about, but I didn't so much. Um, did you like expect where it was going when you were reading it?
I yeah. So I
Yeah.
knew that it was like meant to be a comedy of errors.
Mhm.
Um, so I knew that that it was gonna be like full of misunderstanding and stuff like this, but it still
Right.
was annoying, all the misunderstanding. And also like I've seen Clueless and I know that Clueless is based off Emma. So did
I
you
didn't
know
even
that?
know that. Oh my God. No, I think I've heard
Yeah.
it before, but now I need to go back and now
Yeah.
that I think
So
about
I
it,
knew that she was gonna
yeah.
end up with Mr. Knightley. I knew that she was gonna end up with like her like brother.
Yeah,
Um, which I
I
wish I hadn't
didn't,
known.
yeah. I had no idea because I didn't know if they were related. So
Yeah, also he is 16 years older than her.
oh,
And then
is
there's that really gross bit where he's like, I've been in love with you since you were 13,
well,
which
at
is
least
when
he
she was
waited.
29.
Yeah. Was he previously married? Because didn't he have a son or something
No, I think that
was
the
that a different
son
character?
was, I think that that was his brother's son.
Okay. And that's where
Or
I got
maybe,
confused.
yeah. Like when there was like one bit where they mentioned a little Henry, and then I was like, who's this little
Yeah.
Henry? Little Henry was like his brother's son.
Gotcha. And little Henry's supposed to inherit his house
Because
because
yeah,
he doesn't have
'cause Mi-
kids.
yeah, because Mr. Knightley is the older brother, but then he's not married, but his younger brother's married, so then his younger brother's kids will inherit the stuff, but then if he gets married, then his
Gotcha.
kids will inherit the stuff. It took
That's
me,
why they were
I
saying
had
that.
to
I
ask
was confused about that. I
I
wasn't
had
sure
to
who
ask
Henry was.
people. Yeah.
Well,
My flatmate, this is like her favorite book ever. So it was like a
oh,
lot of pressure, but I could ask her. I asked her questions.
good, good, good.
I was like, what's going on?
Well, I texted you because last night I started watching the movie and I was in shock because I didn't realize that Mrs. Weston and Miss Taylor were the same person the whole time. I didn't
Yeah,
know where did Mrs. Weston come from? Like, who
the
is this?
names are confusing. The names are confusing because yeah, like the Miss and then like the first names. And like, so my flatmate told me that that Mr. Knightley is older because they call him Mr. Knightley.
That
But
makes
then for the
sense.
younger siblings, then they name his first name. So they call like the younger sibling Mr. John Knightley. No,
Mm,
John Knightley's younger. But yeah, it was a bit confusing.
that makes sense because in the movie, actually, Emma speaks to two women and calls one of them Mrs. something and the other one Miss blank, but the whole name,
Yeah,
like you were talking about.
yeah,
Yeah. Um, so I'm like gonna get a physical copy because I actually want to go back through now that I've
yeah,
seen the movie and I know what the heck is going on with the characters
yeah.
and like reread it instead of just trying to like race through it. Um,
Yeah, I think that's also why I would have enjoyed it more if I was in less of a rush to finish it because like all like the useless, like not the useless, but like all of the passages that weren't directly related to plot, I was like, I don't have time for this.
yeah.
I need dialogue, I need plot.
And that was the
But
problem
yeah,
too with the audiobook. Like I couldn't skip ahead like
yeah,
that. So that's why I was like,
yeah,
I
exactly.
can't right now. But I think if I were to like reread it, I would definitely pay more attention to
Yeah.
because I think there was a lot of humor hidden in there that I didn't catch too.
Yeah, and a lot of critique, like, because I was like, oh, like these boring, like upper class people.
Mhm.
And then, when you think of it as like a funny critique, then
Yeah, I agree. Especially with Emma too, because again, going
yeah,
in knowing nothing, I didn't realize that she was like she was still doing so much growth throughout the story.
yeah,
So when she came in, it was very, very classist. Like, oh,
yeah,
I could never be
yeah,
friends with like a farmer's
yeah,
wife, or
exactly.
so
Yeah.
I'm
I was like,
really
Jane
glad that that
Austen's a bit
changed.
classist, but no,
Hmm.
probably not. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't either, but I liked that how like Emma changed that position toward the end because
Yeah, exactly.
but I liked her. I don't know. She was like kind of a little brat, but she had
She was a
like
brat, but she also had some self-awareness
and
and
she
she
had good
was like
intentions, you
had good
know?
intentions.
Hmm.
Yeah, like I do think that she meant the best for her friends. Like I think she definitely meant the best for Harriet.
Yeah. Oh yeah, she cared about Harriet.
Yeah.
I actually I was I knew they wouldn't go there, but again,
I
is this guy
know.
gay?
It was there was so much of it. Like every single woman that's introduced, and Emma is just like, she's so beautiful, so elegant, she's so pretty. And I'm like, seems a bit gay to me.
And
And
she's
Harriet,
like, I'll
and
never marry
yeah,
man.
I was like, I know. And she like was obsessed with Harriet, and also like Harriet was like such a simp for Emma, like doing absolutely anything that Emma asked of
I
her.
know.
Obviously, I knew that it was gonna go there, but I was like,
And they were roommates.
they were
They
best
were roommates,
friends.
best friends. Like I don't know. I
Anyway,
liked that though.
Wendy says
Go
be
ahead.
gay.
That's so cute. That's perfect. Perfect for every book we read, apparently.
Yeah, somehow. What did everyone else think of like the like humor? Was it like surprising? Did people get it? I'm just reading the chat.
I think it was Kent saying who has to wait for the aunt to die. I think it was Mr. Churchill, Mr.
Yeah,
Weston's son who married Jane.
yeah. Frank Church.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, I don't have my aura anymore, guys. Sorry. I'm too tired to shine, but
I
after
think
I've had like a good 8 hours sleep, then it'll be back.
Did she just call her a simp? Yes.
Yeah, like she really was though.
I'm sitting in a swivel chair and I just realized that I was almost fully turned around in the chair to try to
Swiveling
see.
around in it.
Well, the thing is, it wants to rotate this way. So I'm just like,
Swivel it.
I could put my feet on the floor, but I'm not doing it.
No, that's bad.
So who actually
What
read
are
the book?
you? Yeah.
Did people in the chat, did you guys actually read it? Who's read Emma? I've read 70%.
Are you gonna do a little poll?
I'm just asking this one, but I will say, what would you guys rate it? I'll put that as a poll. Start a poll.
Let's see.
Again, I can't put one as a choice, but what would you rate it if you read it?
It's a hard one because I don't read many classic books.
Same.
So I find it hard to like judge. I found it very hard to get into. I enjoyed it a lot more towards the end.
Yeah, I think I enjoyed a lot more once I started to get into the style of writing.
Yeah.
And then after like I watched the movie, I'm like, oh, I actually liked that. So I think I'll have more appreciation for it. So I'm not gonna rate it yet. I will wait until I actually like read it again.
Yeah. There's also like things like you know, the style of writing aside, I wanted more build up with the romance with Mr. Knightley and Emma. Like
Yeah.
it was over and done so quickly. Like they had like, you know, one like where they one conversation where they professed their feelings, and then it was like, okay, like let's talk about business and how we're gonna get married. Like I just wanted more romance. I didn't think there was that much romance.
There wasn't, like, it was a lot of scheming to achieve romance, but then like not even so much. I don't know.
No, I wanted more. Like that conversation where Knightley is like professing his like feelings. That was like so great, and I was so excited. I was audibly gasping, but I needed more of that before
I
and
know.
after. I needed more build up and then more like aftermath. And also we didn't even get like a lot of like their wedding description or like any of them like living a little domestic life.
Yeah.
I don't think we really got any of that. Yeah, I don't know.
I
I found it a
think
bit underwhelming, the romance.
I'm okay with like, I don't know. I think it would have been better to have a little bit of continuation. I'm okay with not seeing their whole domestic life, but question for you. Did they talk about where they would be living in the book?
They decided to live at Hartfield until the father died.
Okay. I was just wondering if that stemmed from from how the movie went.
Yeah, which is nice.
It is nice. I thought that was so sweet. Like he really loves her.
Knightley is such a babe. Like,
oh,
he's
I love him. I did.
Yeah.
I just loved him. He's an absolute angel.
Out. Yeah, he like calls her out. He like tells her off when she needs telling off. And yeah, and he's like so thoughtful and sweet.
And in the book, he asks Jane to dance, right? When nobody will ask her.
Yeah, Harriet.
Okay, yeah, Harriet, not Jane. Yeah.
Yeah, but he like fetches a carriage for Jane because Jane's like not got good health, and he sends his carriage to like take her so that she doesn't get a cold. And then I was like, oh no, does like Knightley like Jane?
I was worried.
No, he doesn't. He was just being nice.
I know, he's just a sweetheart. Yeah. I actually was like wondering, is he doing a little bit of this to make Emma jealous? Like just kind of seeing how she reacts.
That could be, yeah. I didn't think about that. But I hope
I
that
kind of think he
is
wasn't, though.
sorted.
I think it was
I don't
just,
think he was thinking about it that much, but
no, maybe a little bit, though.
maybe a little bit.
So we have some 5s, some 4s. We have a 2, which is fine. Like, I think because it's a classic, it's hard to rate. Like, some people are going to rate it like a 1 or a 2.
Yeah, and also there's kind of like the idea that like, oh, because it's a classic book, it is good and you have to like it.
That's true.
But if you don't like it, you don't like it. Reading should be for fun. It's just enjoyment and entertainment. I don't think you should have to like read classics because they're good.
No, I totally agree. Like I can't talk today. I'm sorry. It's been a long week. I actually majored in English in school, like English literature. So I almost never read anything classic because I'm just so burnt out on it. Like, I just want to read for entertainment.
Yeah, exactly. Read for enjoyment.
Mm-hmm.
Jake said many classic books have some serious flaws, being from older time periods, like the fact that, you know, he was 29 and fell in love with her when she was 13.
Yeah, that's a little off.
Yeah, and also because of the time period. Like, I know that we're not going to get like a kiss because of the time it was written in, but I would have liked to have a kiss.
Just, especially between these very strong like characters, very strong-willed characters,
Yeah.
Let them have a kiss.
And there was like a bit where she was saying about when they were talking about like what she calls him, and that she always calls him Mr. Knightley and she never calls him by his first name. And then she was like, maybe I'll call you by your first name like one time, and like you can guess when that time was gonna be. And I was like, is this like saucy? But then I think that she said something about like their wedding like day, and I was like, do you mean wedding night? Like,
I don't think she does.
It's just I was inventing sauciness when it wasn't there.
Yeah, I do the same.
Yeah.
I cannot remember. They were having a whole conversation of, with Jane. That did get a little saucy. The gossip about Jane.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was a little surprised by that. Like, ooh. Because they're like accusing this girl of trying to steal a married man and having like the affections of like this man that basically helped raise her. And
yeah. And then like also, what was his name? Frank. Frank was such an arsehole.
Frank was an asshole.
Yeah, and Frank is like really like enjoying all of this gossip about the woman that he's engaged to.
I know.
And is like pretending to like egg her on. And then he's like so unnecessarily like there's like a bit where he's like, oh, like what has she done to her hair? It's so weird. I'm gonna go ask her if this is like the Irish style. Like, why are you messing why are you messing with her like this?
Right? You're in love with this woman because it seems like you're just harassing her.
Yeah, I wasn't convinced of that like relationship either.
Yeah.
I know it all worked out in the end, but that wasn't very convincing for me.
No, I don't think he's a very good person. He seemed like kind of a womanizer. Like,
yeah. I wasn't sure about. I didn't like any of that. Yeah. Poor.
And then he didn't come to his dad's wedding because his aunt wouldn't let him go. Like, I don't know.
And so he never visited his dad, and then he only went to visit his dad because his fiance was going to be there. So he actually like did it. The only reason why he went to what is it?
That's a good point. Yeah.
He says that, he does say that in the book. He's like, you might have noticed that I only made this visit when Jane was going to be there, Miss Fairfax.
Wow.
Yeah, he's actually.
I know. He really does like Jane, but
yeah, it also makes me like Knightley more because Knightley's such a good judge of character. Because Knightley's like, I don't like this guy because he doesn't visit his dad.
He knew, but he also didn't like him because Emma liked him.
But before he'd even met him, then he was like, no, like he's not a good person because he doesn't visit his dad.
Yeah, he had him from the very beginning.
Yeah. And then Knightley being like jealous of Frank was so good. I
I
love that so
know.
much.
Oh, you need to watch the movie because his
I
facial
can't wait
expressions,
to watch the movie.
I swoon.
Yeah, I might watch it tonight if we finish early enough.
You should. You should. And there's a couple scenes with Knightley that you're just going to be like, because he really is. He's the doll. It's just a treasure.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm going to enjoy it.
Yeah, it was really cute. I liked it. I would watch it again, I think.
Yeah, we should have done like a little watch party. Oh, we tried to do that before and it was difficult to figure out how to do it, wasn't it?
I don't think we ever actually did it. It's just we saw that there would be
No,
a
we
limit.
thought, yeah. Yeah, Ken says I think the humor and language style was hard by reading the book. Same, I found listening to it much easier.
Yeah.
And yeah, random vocals, it was missing the deepness romance-wise. For me, yes.
Yeah.
I know for me personally.
See, I wonder if even like at its time, and I'm sure I could look this. Oh, hang on. I did something weird. There we go.
Sounds all right. Okay.
No, I'm sorry. It started like something started playing in my ear.
No. That's no ideal.
Shoot. I was gonna say something I told. Oh, I wonder if at the time it was renowned as like high literature or if it was just like a rom-com, like Colleen Hoover.
I
That's
think
what
it was a
I'm thinking.
rom-com.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
it would be like a crappy little like Colleen Hoover book or something
And
today.
it's written by a woman. It's a chick flick.
Yeah.
You know,
And it
anything
is.
made by women for women is not appreciated.
Right? It's just silly little things, silly little women things.
Later. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's funny because I went into this like thinking this is like, oh, this is classical literature, and it is, but it's also like it's a chick flick. It's
it's Clueless.
Yeah, it is. It's Clueless.
I've got some. Oh, I like Kent's question. How much do rumors actually do damage as compared to today? Yeah, that's the rumors and like the gossip is like an important.
Yeah, they like just everything they did had to be so calculated and like I don't know. There's so many social like things that you had to adhere to in order to not be like, I don't know, people talking about you thinking you're crazy and weird.
Yeah, exactly. Like Mrs. Elton calls Mr. Knightley Knightley, and Emma's like, how rude. And she calls like her own husband Mr. E. And she's like, how uncouth. Like,
oh yeah, she was not okay with that.
No. And Frank gets offended about everyone calling Miss Fairfax Jane rather than Miss Fairfax because like women of like
certain
class,
standing,
yeah. And then when like people below you can call them by their first name. Yeah, it's very like intricate, isn't it?
So many little rules like that you had to abide by.
Yeah. And like all of the like what's the name? Emma really thinking about the company that Harriet keeps.
Yes.
People that she's associated with.
Has to be somebody that's a positive influence on her or like, oh my gosh, she could fall in with the wrong people.
I know. Can I say that the actor who plays Mr. Martin, I love him so much. I haven't seen the film yet, but I know who plays him. Mr. Martin, like the farmer man.
Yeah,
he loves Harriet.
He's so cute. He's not really in it very much. I don't think he has more than like one or two speaking roles, but he's like present. You see him.
Yeah, like he's not in the book. Like he doesn't speak in the book at all either. But he was on my mind so much. Like the entire book, I was like, please give Mr. Martin happiness.
I know. He was so sweet. And Harriet really loved him. And it's just like, damn it, Emma.
And they were good for each other. Harriet and Mr. Martin ending up together was like the happiest part of the book. I was like, okay, this romance between Emma and Mr. Knightley has let me down. But Harriet and Mr. Martin.
the true romance the whole time. The other
Yeah.
two aren't romantics. They just like ended up
No.
together. And
But also, like, the whole book could have been avoided if Emma had just been like less of a shitty person.
right? If she'd maybe just been a little bit more mature and not so like putting herself in other people's affairs.
Yeah, right. I'm gonna get some book club questions for us.
Okay, let me look at the chat.
Describe Highbury and its social classes and ranks. Does its size hamper Emma's growth? In what way is the setting important to the novel?
So we're talking about if the setting hampers Emma's growth and
like the small like
oh,
village.
definitely. I mean, she is like revered in her little town too. She doesn't have anybody to really challenge her or anybody at
She
her
doesn't
level
really have
even.
any friends. Yeah. Like Harriet's her only friend. Miss like Fairfax is the only person her age, but she doesn't even live in Highbury most of the time. So like her governess, like Miss Taylor, is her only friend. So,
and she doesn't feel like she has any equals. And maybe it's because she doesn't like there's nobody really of her social standing or
it doesn't feel like there's a lot of like women around.
No. Yeah, it seems like it would have been easy to get a man in those days.
Yeah.
No competition.
No, there's all of these like eligible men. But like
where's all the women?
Where's all the ladies at?
Well, it's funny. I won't spoil anything from the movie, but I will say the movie, there's a whole mess of women. There's all kinds of girls. And actually Harriet lives with a ton of other women. They just never mention them.
True. That's true. Harriet does live with other women.
Yeah, it's like a whole boarding house full of girls.
Yeah. And also like towards the end of the book, then like the Cox family get introduced and like the Cox sisters. But like they're not in it very much either. Like
I think it's just like Emma's family is probably like the richest family in town, along with the Knightleys, or along with Mr. Knightley, and they're just kind of like there's nobody socially on her level.
I was also a bit confused about like Mr. Knightley's social standing though, because he like has a farm. I mean, I know he's not a farmer, but like I didn't get he's not as rich. I think he's not as rich as like the Woodhouses because he doesn't have a carriage most of the time because he's short on money. But why is he short on money? Because he doesn't have any kids.
No, and the thing is like he owns a crazy amount of land, I'm sure, and has his name, the other love interest, Harriet's Mr. the Martins live on his land. The Martins farm his land.
Oh, yeah.
So I think he has more money. I think maybe he just doesn't spend it. I think he just doesn't. What was that?
Yeah, he must be like just.
I think it's frugal. Yeah, I think it's also frugality because
also. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say his house in the movie looks immaculate, like bigger and more impressive than the Woodhouses.
Yeah, I feel like I need to like visualize some stuff.
Yeah, because I was having trouble with that too. I was like, where does he fit? Like,
because he's good friends with Mr. Martin. And then I was like, but obviously he's not on Mr. Martin's like level.
Yeah. This made it make a little bit more sense.
Mr. Elton as well. And Mr. Elton is like the vicar. Anyway, but so I need to watch it. Also, I like how Emma was like really against the idea of Jane Fairfax marrying Mr. Knightley because like poor Henry who needs to inherit like has no one thought about little Henry? And then when she's like, oh, I love Mr. Knightley, obviously we're gonna get married. screw my nephews.
Right? Who cares about Henry? Stupid kid.
Yeah, she's a bit of a selfish one.
Yeah, she's young, very young.
She's young, isn't it? Mr. Woodhouse says Emma never thinks of herself if she can do good to others. Emma never thinks of herself if she can do good to others. Is this a positive or negative attribute? Emma never thinks if she can do good to others. It's about like, because Mr. Knightley says that Emma won't do any good, that Harriet and Emma won't do any good to each other. That Emma will do badly, like Emma will make Harriet worse and Harriet will make Emma worse. That's why Mr. Knightley doesn't like approve of their friendship.
Yeah, Mr. Knightley doesn't, but Mr. Woodhouse did,
But
didn't he?
and then yeah, so then I think that Mr. Woodhouse was like defending.
I think he's just saying like, oh, she always thinks of other people. She's not like putting herself first ever or something. She can do no wrong in his eyes.
Yeah, she's so spoiled, isn't she? By poor
She
Mr.
is.
Woodhouse.
Mm-hmm.
Who's Mr. Woodhouse in the film?
I'm not sure. One of my favorite parts, I think, is when she's talking to Harriet, and she's like, "Oh, I don't have to get married. I don't have any of the usual inducements of women to marry." And like, basically, you have to need, like, I don't know, like, because she already has this grand house and is like the mistress of this house, she doesn't need to marry.
No.
Like,
yeah,
I'll just stay here, live with my dad.
Yeah. She's got a lot of freedom. I mean, we see how like women's social standing like entraps them more so than like men's, you know, like
Mhm.
and how like marriage is like a way out of
Yeah.
that, like Jane Fairfax, and then everyone's like, oh, like poor Jane is gonna have to like work, she's gonna have to
Oh
become
my
a
God, I know.
teacher. What a
It's just a
horrible
life of
fate
labor.
for the poor, like, literally. And it's so unfair that she's known this life of luxury and then it's going to be taken away from her when she has to go join the workforce
I
and
know,
become a
it's just
governess in like a
the
big
worst
fancy
thing that could
house,
happen.
you know?
Yeah. Can you
Yeah.
imagine?
And then she, luckily gets swooped up by Frank Churchill.
Yeah.
And definitely, I think he'd rather be a governess than be married to him.
Yeah, I don't trust Frank. I think he's kind of a jerk. I think he's gonna like, I don't know.
Yeah, weird vibes from Frank.
Yeah.
I had weird vibes.
He just like, he feel like he flirted so hard with Emma too when he didn't really need to. And then like making fun of Jane. Like, I don't
Yeah,
know.
it
It's
was
just his
the making
personality, I
fun
guess.
of Jane was just so unnecessary.
Mhm.
And if he's trying to like act like he's single, then why doesn't he show like a bit of interest in all of the women
Right. It doesn't
rather
have to
than
just be,
acting really interested in one woman,
yeah, that's not fair. Like, just act
Right.
single. Don't act like you're interested in Emma.
Yeah.
I like
And he's only
Ken.
23. Sorry.
Oh yeah, he was really young too.
Yeah, so
That's
like,
right.
he's not like no one expects him to get married right now.
Mm-hmm. Kent said, was Emma's father worried about what will happen to his fortune and who will keep his legacy? And I don't think he actually was he? I feel like he was just worried about getting sick or about like the women in his life moving out.
Yeah.
I don't know if he was necessarily worried about like his fortune and his legacy.
No, I'm not really sure. Yeah, I think he was like, I mean, he's obviously concerned about his own health and his family's health.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he was very concerned about Isabella's health and the health of her kids.
Yeah.
But I think he's just a hypochondriac.
Yeah. And it was funny because the way that she wrote him, I was like, has this guy always been this way? Or does he maybe have dementia? Just the way he repeats stuff and like harps on things. So I couldn't really tell based on the book.
Yeah, and he like, he always joins in a bit late after the conversation's moved on. What about in the film? Did they have the thing with like the gypsies?
So
that was
yes and no. Like we didn't see anything happen. We just saw her getting carried into the
Right.
house by Frank.
Frank.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought that was I wasn't sure how. I was like, I was really trying to think about it. I was like, is this a critique of, classism, like racism? And then I was like, I don't know if it
I'm not
is.
sure. I don't think so.
I think that it partly is because of like how like over exaggerated the girl's behavior was, like the child like
Yeah.
asking for money and the girls like scream and run up a bank to like run away is what it says in the
Oh,
book.
okay,
So
never mind. That does seem like it because in the movie it's very much just like, oh, I was set upon by gypsies, and that's it. That's all they say about it.
right.
And it's
Yeah.
more the aftermath.
Yeah. In the book, like then Harriet and Jane, I think, or Harriet and someone else are walking home, and there are the gypsies, and one of the kids like asks them for money, and they are like terrified, and they like run away and try to like climb up a bank or something, but Harriet can't climb up it because she's got cramp from dancing all night. Now that I say
Oh,
it, it's so funny.
that's really, I wish they had shown that.
Harriet's got cramp from dancing at the ball all night, so she can't like get away fast enough. And then the like I don't know, the gypsies like descend on her and just like asking her for money, and then she gives them a shilling and promises to give them more money, but she's too scared to do anything.
Oh my gosh.
And then
That's
Jack comes in
funny.
and not Jack. Why do I always think his name's Jack? And then Frank comes in and like rescues her.
So brave, so gallant.
Yeah, what a hero.
Oh my gosh. That's
Yeah.
funny.
And there's also a bit about the poultry, about like thieves stealing like the chickens and stuff from the Westons and maybe some other people. It's right at the end. And they just like
Hmm.
mention it and mention how scared Mr. Woodhouse is about it. And then I don't think there's really any other mention of it. It's just like a little added
Huh.
something. And I was like,
No,
also,
I think
I
you're
was
right.
listening to it too quickly.
I think they're fully making fun of the rich people, and that's like
Yeah.
it was good. It was good.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's definitely a little bit of like social commentary
Oh, definitely.
hidden in there. Was Uncle Frank trying to advise Emma about her dealings with Jane? Who was Uncle Frank?
Uncle Frank.
Frank Frank Churchill? Yeah, I don't know what
Maybe
I
they
don't know what
mean,
Frank was doing. Yeah, who do you mean, Ken?
oh, Ken
Oh,
asked. I thought it was a book
yeah.
club question.
No, sorry. It was from Ken. It was in the chat. Um, let's have a look at some of these questions.
You
Who's
know,
worse? Oh, oh, sorry. Is it from? Sorry, I'm getting confused because
I'm
I'm
coming
reading
around.
Jake's question. Who's worse, Frank from Emma or Uncle Frank from Home
Oh, oh, okay. I get it. I get
Alone? uh, um, I don't know. Frank was the worst. I wasn't a big Frank fan.
it. Mm-mm. I really liked, I think Mr. Knightley was the best character.
Yeah,
I
for
think.
sure.
I liked Mr. Knightley. He's so
What
sweet.
do you feel about like Mr. Elton? Because I felt really sorry for Mr. Elton for a lot of
So
it, and then he just gets like really annoying and mean.
yeah, I at first felt bad for Mr. Elton. I was like, oh no, he really loves her. She was right. He didn't love her. at all. He was trying to
Yeah.
advance his own position. And then him immediately getting married to somebody else who was like super insufferable, that sealed it
Yeah.
to me. And like, oh, Mr. Elton's so smarmy. And
Once again, Mr. Knightley is just a great judge of character.
Mhm.
Because Mr. Knightley was like, yeah, Mr. Elton's good company, but he's, wants to improve, he wants to better his standing and stuff like that. So
Right. He even told, like, he warned her, he's like, no, I hear the way he talks when it's just men.
yeah,
Like,
exactly, yeah.
you don't want anything to do with him.
But I felt bad for him when he like writes his little charade
Oh,
to read,
yeah. Yeah.
and then it gets like read out loud, and he's like, "Don't tell anyone," and then she tells everyone.
Just they write it down for like record keeping purposes.
Yeah, yeah, that was
Oh,
cute. The girls doing the little.
sleeping
Is it
baby.
Benji?
Poopy bear.
Hi.
That's
Oh, he can't.
Poopy.
He can't hear
Saying
me because
poop.
you got your
No,
headphones on.
he can't hear you, but he can see you. Sweet baby.
Yo, baby.
Okay.
One. Okay, well, I don't know. Sorry, I'm reading some book club questions. This is one criticism leveled at Austen is that her novels do not address the events of her day and lack historical perspective. Do you think this is true in Emma?
I mean, I don't know. Like,
I don't know either.
I don't know enough about like history to say what it actually was like. And I guess, did they want her to talk about like real things that happened at that time?
Yeah.
I guess I don't really understand the criticism.
No, and I think that it does, like, I think that talking about the day-to-day life of people is still talking about history,
Right.
Do you think, how did Mr. Knightley's feelings change towards Emma? Like, do you think that because he says that he's loved her for years,
Yeah.
why did he only just like now reveal his feelings?
I
Do you think that
think
his feelings have changed?
she grew up a little bit. I think she needed to grow up. She needed to be receptive to his feelings because she had previously said, I don't ever want to get
I will
married.
never marry.
And yeah. So that's hard to come into, you're not going to try to approach somebody who has that like feeling.
Yeah.
I think it's that as soon as she started to become more receptive to him, he was like, yes.
Yeah. And she said that like if she was gonna marry anyone, then she thought that she might marry Frank. That was before she met Frank. And
Yeah.
then she was like, and then she met Frank and she was like, oh yeah, like maybe I'm in love with Frank. And then she was
I
like,
know,
oh
so
no.
casual about it. And then she's like, nah,
Yeah, I know. She's
no,
like,
I'm never going to get married.
yeah, she was like, for a day I thought I was really in love, and then I realized that I'm not really in love at all.
Mm-mm. No.
I'm excited to watch the film.
Yeah, I think you'll enjoy it, and you need to text me after you watch it. Maybe not tonight because I know it'll probably be late for you, but
Oh
I want to
yeah,
hear what you think.
yeah. I'll let you know.
So closing in on an hour, do we want to talk about like
That went quite
next?
quickly.
It did. Well, I guess we started a little bit late, so I mean, we can keep going. So I wasn't.
Yeah, does anyone? Well, yeah, I mean, I don't really have that many more comments, thoughts.
Well, look at Kent said women were more focused on being married for survival. 2023 women compared, definitely. I think,
Yeah,
like Eliza was saying before, it was a good way to kind of advance your position in life.
yeah,
Whereas a woman, you would have just kind of been stuck, like poor Jane, who would have been
yeah.
a governess.
Yeah, like poor Jane and also poor Harriet
Poor
because of her
Harriet.
birth. Then she's
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, she needs to make good acquaintances because of her birth.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Whereas
silly.
we don't have any like men in that situation.
Yeah. Maybe it's because we don't really see them. Maybe it's because they really can't climb rank.
Yeah, or maybe it's just because it's more.
It's a woman, it's a woman's book.
Yeah, it's a woman's book, and also there's nothing like it's not embarrassing for men to work, but it's embarrassing for women to work.
Yeah,
You
that's a
know,
good point. Yeah.
it's more dignified for men to get a job.
But women,
It's sad when women have to do
you
it.
should be living a life of leisure, you poor thing. Be a
I
teacher?
know, Veda, I'm trying.
It's so sad.
When is this new Mr. Knightley gonna
I
come marry me
know.
and give me all of his money?
Why
So I
am
can
I
just
still
sit around
working? I
playing the
am already
piano.
married. I know. I'm just sitting around playing a piano.
Yeah. And like, writing down riddles in a little notebook, gossiping and matchmaking.
I know, like having to organize all these dinners and parties because you're so damn bored all the time.
Yeah. Who was it? Was it Mrs. Elton? Where she's like, where she says like, oh, like every woman like gives up playing music once they get married.
Probably.
And I was like, why? You don't have anything to do, love.
Mm-mm. No, it's just sitting around all the time. And
Yeah, you may as well play the piano.
Mhm. You're allowed to still have a hobby. I guess
Yeah.
not.
Taylor, didn't know that we had a book club.
Hi, Taylor.
We
Yes.
do. We have a little book club. We
Mhm.
try to do it every month, but
We never do it every month. It's about every 2 months, usually.
yeah,
Month and a half,
it's
2 months.
usually like every like 6 weeks.
Yes. I think that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so the next month is gonna be sci-fi, not sci-fi, fantasy.
Fantasy. Fantasy. And I know Kent has given me some suggestions.
Lovely.
I'll put out a post too to solicit some suggestions because I know there's a lot of good fantasy, unless you have one that you have been wanting to read.
Not really. No, actually.
Okay.
No, I did.
Okay. Yeah, I'll put a post up for fantasy, and yeah, that'd be fun. That'll be fun.
And then,
Maybe
you know what we have the month after that?
I don't have my phone down here either. Do you?
I have my phone, but I don't know where to find it.
Oh, you know what? I actually posted it on YouTube a while back. Let me go.
I'll find it
Just
like
have
that.
to open it.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't matter. I'm just curious. I think there's all. It was oh, here we go. I found it. So April, a classic. May. Oh yeah, great. So we are on time. April,
Oh,
a
we are.
classic.
We did
May,
good.
fantasy. June, someone from the LGBTQ plus community. Will be for June. And then July, a dystopian. I'm excited.
Excellent. Those are some good ones we
August
have
is going to
coming
be
up.
a biography or an autobiography. I don't think I've ever read a biography or an autobiography.
I haven't. I do have a few written down that looked pretty good. So I've been thinking about it.
Cool. I'm excited. We're branching out.
We are. Look at us trying new things.
Reading Jane Austen.
Reading Jane Austen, or listening to it at maximum speed.
Yeah, that's another reason why I want to have it in a physical book, just so that people can see that I'm reading Jane Austen.
I know. I feel like I'm gonna put it up there with my because I have other ones.
I was like
there, but
walking around like listening to it on my headphones, and I'm like, you guys don't know how smart I am.
I know. I felt the same. I may look like I'm doing dishes right now, but I'm a scholar.
Literally.
It's too funny.
Good. Okay, so if anyone has any like recommendations, suggestions, let us know. Oh, my tummy is starting to rumble.
You need to eat something. You need to get a snack and watch that movie. I'm trying to pull up the calendar. I'm useless without my phone. I have my computer right in front of me. I don't know where anything is on it.
Yeah, for next, maybe Friday. 1, 2, 3, 4. So Friday the 12th of May would be 4 weeks.
That would work for me, I think.
Yeah, I think that would work for me too.
Yeah. So we'll tentatively say Friday the 12th of May. And we will be putting up, or I'll put up a post for fantasy suggestions. Yep. Any final thoughts from anybody in the chat? Thank you so much for joining us, guys. As usual, it is always very fun to hang out with you and discuss books. Have you read anything else recently that you liked?
So I've been rereading the Twilight Saga, to be honest.
That's so cute.
So I'm on New Moon at the moment, and I've got Twilight as well. And I'm reading New Moon.
Very nice.
And yeah, it's really, really bad. But I'm enjoying it.
I had fun reading them. I liked the books. They're enjoyable.
Yeah, I love them. I love them. I mean, they're objectively bad.
Yeah.
Like,
but sometimes like
all the characters are the worst. Oh my god, I forgot how insufferable Edward is. I cannot stand any of the men in these books.
I need to reread it because I was in love. In love, and I don't think I would be now.
So bad. It's so bad. Like, so toxic.
Oh my god, I've got to reread it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I found the whole like box set in a charity shop. Wait, I'll be right back.
Oh yes,
I'm gonna grab them for you. I found the like whole.
Yay! Look at you shuffling back with your little
rolling around on the floor. I found this Twilight one like a while ago, and then I've been on the hunt for New Moon in a charity shop ever since, because I obviously don't want to buy it from Amazon because that's
no, if you can avoid it.
Yeah, and then I found like the whole box set in a charity shop, and it's
very nice.
The Short Second Life of Britannia.
I've never read that one.
It's a novella like during eclipse time, from like Bree's point of view, who's like one of the vampires in the newborn army, who like gets, like, a second, who like they want to like give her a second chance and adopt her into the coven, but then
they kill her.
They kill her.
Don't they kill her? Jane
kills her. Yeah, so I haven't read this one yet, so I'm excited to do that, but I'll have to read the others first.
Very nice. That's a very nice haul. I love it.
I know.
I'm going to be looking for Emma as soon as possible, because again, I have it like in my Amazon cart, but I'm like, I'm not buying this on Amazon. This book is a million years old. There's so many copies. Like, I don't need to pay for this.
Yeah.
So
do you have shops like that where you can like get like charity shops? What do you like, thrift?
Yeah,
like people in
thrift stores.
Do they have books as well?
Some of them do, and then we have places that are just used books too, or like library sales and stuff where you can get stuff like that for like very cheap.
Yeah, keep an eye out. They'll be around.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I mean, we have a library sale. It's on our second Saturday though, so that was last weekend. So I'll have to wait a whole month. It's fine.
Yeah,
I'll be patient.
Good. Well, fingers crossed.
Let's see, what was the chat saying?
Oh yeah, did anyone have any final thoughts, comments, questions? Is that
the book's a little outdated. Is that me? That's Cooper.
Oh.
He's snoring.
Ah,
baby.
I've heard good things about the most recent Emma film, but I haven't seen either of them. So
I haven't seen the old one. I thought about watching it, but I don't like Gwyneth Paltrow very much. But I think Ewan McGregor.
Emma?
I think so.
Mm.
But actually, I think Ewan McGregor plays Frank Churchill, which is great casting. I think he could play
Ooh,
that really
yeah,
well. But
yeah.
the new one's good. New one's good.
Gwyneth
Um,
Paltrow? Is Gwyneth
uh,
Paltrow English? Does she do an English accent?
I don't know. I'd like to know. I think I need to watch it, right?
Yeah.
You're right. I need to watch it. There's no excuse.
Top
I don't know why my phone's beeping on me. Oh, it's an email notification.
important priority.
It's so important. Movie version is the best. I think you should. Which Emma movie version is the best? I think the new one probably has to be, right?
Probably.
Hmm.
But yeah, people say. Have you
Oh.
been reading anything else recently? Sorry.
Not really. I've been taking a little bit of a break. I started this horror book and I can't remember the name of it. And then I put it aside starting Emma. So I need to get back to that. But
oh, I've also been reading. Sorry, I've got a few books
nope.
on the go at the moment. I was also reading this book. It's a non-fiction book. It's called "The Man Who Mistook His Wife for a Hat," and it's like a collection of like case studies of like people who have like things wrong with their brains, like
Oh my
tumors or
gosh.
like epilepsy or like brain damage or stuff, and like some like really strange manifestations that it can take on.
Weird.
And so like there's a guy who like he he like sees shapes and things but like doesn't like has trouble like understanding them for what they are.
Mm-hmm.
So like he's like, oh, like this object, like he tries to pick up his wife's head and then he's like, oh sorry, I thought you were my hat.
That
Like
is
that's why.
so
Yeah,
strange. What a weird
yeah,
manifestation of something going
yeah.
on.
But so that's quite cool. That's a cool book
Huh.
that I'm reading.
Might
But
have to
it's a
check
bit
that
like,
out.
yeah, it's a bit like wordy. It's from, I don't know, I feel like it's from like not that long ago, but like long enough ago that it feels outdated, some of the vocab.
Yeah. Yeah, if I can feel that.
Yeah,
Interesting though. Very interesting.
I'll recommend that to you.
Kent says, what type of fantasy do you like? Paranormal. I actually have been reading like solely fantasy romance, like fairy stuff.
Yeah. I don't think I've read
Sarah
that much
J. Maas.
fantasy. Was The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue fantasy?
I don't think so. Because it
No.
takes place in
Then
our
I don't know.
world. I don't think it's a fan. Well,
Yeah.
Harry Potter does, and that's a fantasy. I think it doesn't
Is
have any like
Outlander
magical element.
fantasy? It's got time travel,
Maybe. That's hard. It's hard to say.
but it's like a historical fiction. I don't
No,
think
I
I
don't
read
think
a lot of
so.
fantasy, but
Yeah, I've only more, well, actually, no, I've always been into fantasy. I just not don't read high fantasy a lot. Like, I
yeah,
think the most high fantasy I read was Game of Thrones. And I enjoyed reading those, but my God, there's like so many characters to remember. And
yeah. I think I'm gonna like fantasy. I think that it
Mhm.
is a genre that I will enjoy.
So Kent says, how about Moon Called, a shapeshift mechanic woman that turned detective? Hmm. Yeah, that's
That
definitely
sounds
like a
fun.
magical type of. I'll put that on the list too, Kent.
Yeah, yeah. We'll add them to the list.
All right. Well, that's all I have. If anybody has any final thoughts in the chat, you're welcome to add them now. But thank you for joining us, guys.
Thanks for joining us. It was lovely
Mhm.
to see you, Veda, and everyone else,
Yes.
as always.
Mhm. I'm going to Trader Joe's this weekend, so I will be picking up some jelly beans.
The jelly beans are
I need to
excellent.
try
They were all
them.
excellent, but the jelly beans were really good.
I'm excited for that. I shoot, I feel like I got you some other stuff that I hadn't tried, and I was gonna ask you if they were good.
You said like the vegetable. Yeah, because because you left some notes saying that you hadn't tried them. Oh, the peanut, the dill, the pickle flavored
Oh,
peanut.
did you like those? They were so
I did
weird.
not like
They're
them.
so weird.
But I really like pickles, but I did not like these.
I think it was because they were like just basically boiled in vinegar, and that was like the flavor
Yeah,
instilled in them. They didn't have a dust or anything. I thought it was
yeah,
weird.
yeah. Yeah, exactly. It wasn't like flavoring on the outside. It was like
Mm-mm.
really,
Yeah.
yeah.
They were very strange. I thought it was worth trying, but
Yeah, definitely worth trying. And it like took me like I had to eat so many to decide if I liked it or
I,
not.
I did too. I ate a whole bag and then I was like, I don't think I like them very much.
I like them.
Well, I won't get them
Yeah,
again. It's fine.
I think that was the only thing. I'm not sure if there's anything else. Oh, I like the little like fruit leather things.
Oh, I love
Those reminded me of
those.
school so much, but
Did
in
you
the
get
best
those at school?
way.
Oh,
No, like not that, but they have a similar taste to like one thing that I had at school and a similar texture to a different thing that I'd have at school. And it was like, yeah,
that's
good.
funny. Yeah. I think I liked everything you sent me.
I sent
Um,
you a lot more like junk food
oh, I
than you
liked it.
sent
It was
me.
good.
My food
I
was like,
I liked all the candy. I really liked the weird little crunchy bar thing. I don't know
yeah,
what
with
was
honeycomb
inside
in
of
the
it.
middle. It's called crunchy.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. That was good. Um, and I liked the chewy candies, but I didn't like the purple ones. Um, they were like little, like a roll of like chewy little
Oh,
things.
and you didn't like the purple flavored ones?
I didn't like the purple ones, but I liked the red ones.
Yeah.
I haven't had the
Are they
drinks
wine gums?
yet. I don't know what
They
they
might have been
were.
wine gums
It was
or fruit pastels.
the
Were
one
they
you
like
sent me. It
green?
was like a roll of, oh no, the green ones might have been the ones I didn't like. There was
Anyway.
like, I don't know, but I liked everything else.
Oh, and well, the drinks are like the drink. One of the drinks, the Pimm's, is alcoholic
Yes,
and
I
it's
saw.
very summery. Well, like in England, it's a very summery drink.
I saw
So
your
it was
instructions for
perfect.
how I need to get some strawberry
It's
and
got a lot of like it's got a lot of what do you call it? It's got a lot of fruit involved.
yeah, it was like this is extreme and I love it. And
Yeah, it's
I'm
a
gonna
fruit
do it right.
salad in a drink.
I love it. That's why I haven't had the drink yet because I'm gonna do it right.
Nice.
I'm excited to do it right. And my husband actually claimed the other one that you sent because he's like, I've been
Nice.
hearing everywhere about that and everyone loves it. I'm one.
Yes, it's an iron brew. It's very Scottish.
Yeah. He's like, that's really
I
popular over there.
Yeah, I want to know what he thinks it tastes like
Okay.
because there's a big debate about what it tastes like.
Interesting. I'll have to try a sip too. We'll drink it
Yeah,
tonight and
because
I'll
it's
let you
orange
know.
colored, but it's not really orange flavored.
Yeah. Why would they do that? Because there's a very specific flavor that goes with that color, you know?
Yeah, yeah,
I'm interested. I'm interested in the taste. Hmm.
yeah.
Let's see. Beta, could you cook something that was in the novel of the month? Oh my gosh, Kent. That would be a fun video. It would be a fun cooking video,
Ooh,
but I am such a bad cook. But you guys, I got a new kitchen recently. Like we had the whole kitchen remodeled. It's so pretty. So I'll have to do some
so
sort of cooking video.
yeah.
Hmm. I did a brownie
Maybe
making
you could
video a
do.
while ago.
Oh yeah. Or maybe if you don't want to do a cooking, maybe you could do like one of those like aesthetic like unpacking the groceries with me kind of
Oh,
videos where people
yes.
like have like storage stuff.
That's a good
You
idea.
know what I mean?
We wanted to be those people. We actually got like the little organizers and stuff. I even have the plastic thing for the eggs.
Yeah. No,
No,
me neither.
that's not
Absolutely not.
me. I'm not
But
like that.
yeah, for a video, that would be cool.
Or it'd be like what grocery haul video or something. Those are
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
That's a good idea. That's a really good idea. Oh, yeah, I'm gonna make I think I could do a role play type thing that would be really fun. I have ideas now. Yeah. Okay. It was nice seeing you, Eliza. It's
Lovely
always
to
a
see
wonderful
you.
time. I'm
Been
gonna
a
harass you
while.
on text more though.
Yeah.
Especially I started to like get into that book more. I was like, I need
And now I have more free time. I just like finished my final. I submitted like my final project for uni like last week on Monday or something. Yeah, so now I've got free time.
That's so when are you actually done? Like,
I'm done on like the 20th of May. I submitted like my big dissertation,
mhm,
which was like 40 pages long.
that's
And
crazy.
then, yeah, but I've still got like exams and some small essays.
Good, good.
On the 20th of May, I'll be free. I'll be done.
That's amazing. You're gonna be so happy.
I
I'm
know.
relieved. You're gonna have so
Be
much time.
a different woman.
Yeah. I remember when I graduated, it was like just immense relief.
Yeah.
I still have nightmares about school though.
Yeah, well, I submitted like my final project, but I still like wake up every morning being like, I need to work on my dissertation. I
Yes.
forgot to add this thing.
Oh my God.
I'm like, oh, it's gone. It's gone now.
Yeah.
And then I had like a feeling today, like such a massive feeling of like embarrassment at the thought, like, oh my God, someone else might be reading my dissertation right now and like grading it. And that like self-awareness was so mortifying. I
Oh,
know, I need to not think about it.
I'm sure it's so good though.
It's in the void, like it's out of
That's
my
it. You're like, I don't even care at this point. It's not near me.
literally.
Mhm. You're so funny. All right.
Well, it
I'm
was
gonna
lovely
go
to
have a
see you.
snack. You
I'll
as
see you next.
well.
Same.
Let me know what you think of the movie.
I will. I'm
Very nice. Very nice to see you guys. We shall see you soon. Any live videos other than book club? Nothing scheduled right now, but I want to have a little celebration for Eliza after she graduates. I would love to do that. I think that would be so fun. So
yeah, I want to
keep
do
on
that
the
too.
lookout for that. Yeah.
It will
All
probably be
right.
last minute, knowing us.
Yes. We'll try to give you some notice, but
Yeah. Sorry, guys.
it's kind of just how it is. All right. Well, have a good night, everybody. Have a good weekend. I get some
Yeah.
lots of relaxation in. All right. I'll see you soon, Eliza. See you soon, guys. I'm like getting
Bye.
allergies now.